Hello everybody and welcome to our presentations of the curriculum plan and facilitation assignment. Today our presentation will discuss about the specific vignette, the overall expectations and specific expectations, the play experience, the curriculum plan, the verbal and behavioral strategies, and the reference page. We have chosen the example number 4. In the art area, you notice Alejandro, a Year 2 student, rolling marbles in the box. You observe Alejandro looking inside the box and he says, I see 4 dots, and 1 dot. After a few moments, Alejandro says, there are 9 dots. The educator asks Alejandro, how do you know that? And Alejandro answers, because I know that 4 and 4 makes 8 and 1 more makes 9. The overall expectations that we choose is the number 20. Apply the mathematical processes to support the development of mathematical thinking, to demonstrate understanding, and to communicate thinking and learning in mathematics while engaged in play-based learning and in other contexts. The specific expectations that we choose is the number 20.1. Demonstrate an understanding of number relationships for numbers from 0 to 10 through investigation. Based on our observations of Alejandro's in this play experience, we all recognize and agree that this trial has more focus on the mathematics behaviors rather than the literacy behaviors, because almost his behavioral demonstrations are more about the mathematical concepts, such as he says that there are 9 dots, and because I know that 4 and 4 make 8 and 1 more makes 9. Look into the specific details. The majority of his play activity concentrates on the mathematics behavior because it fully demonstrates the mathematical skills such as adding, understanding of the number, counting, analyzing to figure out and prove how many dots he has. Particularly, Alejandro used the ideas of the numbers and patterns to count the dots contained inside the box for even 3 times while playing. So 2 times he counted as 4 dots, and the 3rd time he counted the last 1 dot. He also added all dots from each time counting together, which he finally came up with 9 dots at a total. At the time, he illustrated his comprehension of evaluating information. In detail, he implemented the reasoning and Rubik skills, which are the elements involved in the basic mathematical processes for young children, into counting how many dots he had observed in the box. Additionally, when the educator asked Alejandro how he knew that there were 9 dots in this box, he was able to think mathematically and utilize the mathematical thinking to explain the way he had counted the dots to the educator. So by giving clearly description toward the educator, this is evident that these trials performed really well the process of communicating its mathematical concepts as well. After considering all the OEs and SEs in the chapter 4.5, we have found that there are couples of OEs and SEs that connect with Alejandro in merging mathematical behaviors. However, we think the OE number 20 is most aligned with the trial circumstance. In terms of play-based learning, in the video, our professor discussed that there is evidence that children naturally engage in math experiences while they play. In addition, according to the book, What is the Mathematizing? The author claimed that children are provided with the real-life context and the materials to make sense of the mathematics found within those experiences. The skills-based approach that to the mathematics, on the other hand, focuses on providing children with an accumulation of the factual knowledge with the goal of having them repeat the memorized information. It is true that Alejandro was playing with rolling marbles in the art area and he had been emerging his mathematics behaviors through this display. As further intentions, Alejandro may be able to build on his calculating skills as doing additions by remembering the way adding numbers from 0 to 10 at the beginning. In terms of the process of communicating, Alejandro combined using visually as observing the numbers of dots having inside the box, and orally as speaking out loud, his counting inside his head the total dots as well as his explanation to the educator. Furthermore, this always is more obvious since Alejandro's were able to do additions to get the total amount of the dots that he had at that moment. This would contribute to showing his development in process of connecting. Through Alejandro's understanding of the numbers of marbles is so that he has reached mathematical thinking development. He is also very focused and active on the sensory play that rolling the marbles at the same time. He also has a silent understanding ability of numbers. When the educator asks Alejandro questions, he immediately analyzes and answers the questions in detail and gives the educator answers, reflecting his sharing and exchange of the mathematics learning with the educators. In this place experience, it can be seen that Alejandro demonstrates the understanding of the number relationship from number from 0 to 10 to investigations from the SE 20.1 by his sayings. For example, he spoke 3 times about the expressions of number, including the number 1, 4, 8, and 9. He also took the challenge of counting and answering the educator's questions, as well as being able to do additions by his confirmation that because I know that 4 and 4 makes 8 and 1 more makes 9. This proves that he has a clear understanding of mathematical cognitive ability in general and the number relationship for number from 0 to 10 as well. Especially, these mathematical behaviors were performed through plays and through his investigation of rolling marbles and checking the quantity of marbles inside the box. In regarding the article Number Scene Series, developing the early number scenes, the author provided information that children as young as 2 years of age can confidently identify 1, 2, or 3 objects before they can actually count with understanding. However, it was great that Alejandro's a year 2 child may be able to identify marbles and count them with his mathematical understanding. Alejandro also demonstrated his good number sense at the early years with the skills of being aware of the relationship between number and quantities and being able to do counting, understanding of different ways to represent numbers, and being able to do simple mathematical operations. Therefore, we desire to continue to nourish his mathematical behaviors and the skills because he illustrated very well foundation skills related to the mathematical concept. As he is at the zone of proximal development, which means he is still able to do mathematics independently, although his skills are not fully developing yet, and require more support as well as practices to improve them cognitively. In particular, he is interested in doing math formulas and he needs to break it into smaller steps by adding 4 and 4 first, then putting on 1 more at the end to get the 9. This is the reason why we should focus on developing his mathematical skills in general and calculation abilities in specific. We strongly believe that we can take advantage of the existing mathematical skills that Alejandro has in order to advance them going to the next level. In specific, we acknowledge his strengths as counting skills and well performed through processes of reasoning and proving, connecting, communicating in the mathematical concept which we have mentioned and discussed above. We also recognize his interest in sensory play and the art activities as he fully and actively engages in the art area to play the rolling marbles. We discover his needs as building on his existing mathematical abilities and promoting his mathematical thinking throughout the mathematical processes such as problem solving, reflecting, selecting tools and strategies, and representing. These are the reasons why we have decided to facilitate the curriculum with the play experience that could be considered as the novel version of the water table play. This would also be a responsive curriculum plan, as we will utilize the materials that encourage children critical thinking skills while observing and asking them provoked questions during the play. Our place-based curriculum plan for children in general and for a 2-year-old toddler Alejandro in specific mainly needs the combinations of the loose part materials and the sensory materials. A water table to put other materials inside, the big plastic scoops for children to scoop the water from one cup to another one, the measuring cups which have figures on their surfaces with the different sizes and shapes to contain the water, and for children to be exposed and familiar with the measuring concepts in the mathematical frames. The food coloring and the other liquid watercolors to add into the water with the purpose of increasing children's interest in this activity. The aprons for children to keep their clothes clean while playing with the colored water. The stalls with different sizes and shapes for children to put in or take out of the cups while carrying them and playing with the water. Through this play experience, the supply staff has to ensure that children have opportunities to learn and explore the emergent mathematics concepts by themselves and from the support of his or her own. The educators could also show how to use the materials to children to get an idea what they are going to play. To set it up in the water table after nap time so that the children have time to participate in the afternoon before they get picked up by their parents. When the display is done, it should have some minutes enough to have children get ready for their families picking up. There will be 3 more children to play with Alejandro because we want to make sure that there is enough space for all children to participate comfortably, and we also want to make sure that we have enough materials for all to access. So this video will give you an idea of how does water play happen. In the curriculum plan, we will provide Alejandro and other children in the kindergarten classroom a space and opportunity to play with water at the water table to include a mathematical concept that would challenge children to learn new things. We will offer the big plastic scoops and the measuring cups for children to fill the water into the cups by scooping and making comparisons of the water amount in each cup. Additionally, in this play experience, children might also develop their critical thinking skill by guessing which cup would be full of water first compared to the other cups. Children will not only have opportunities to cultivate their sense of touch when filling the water, but also enhance their sense of hearing to listen to the sound when dropping the stone into the cups of water, as well as sense of sight when observing different materials and the amount of water in the cups while making comparison. Besides, as there are different colors of water, children might practice their sorting skills by pouring water with the same colors from one cup to another one as well. Also, we might think this is a great way to extend this play to the next level for Alejandro and other children, as now they might start to investigate the tools using on daily days that related to the mathematical concepts, as well as being able to compare items in different shapes and textures, such as the amount of water or the numbers of stones. We will also ask them provoked thinking questions. And the provoked questions will be our provoked strategies. We will ask, how do you know that it just needs one more scoop to be full? How do you know you have 9 stones in the cups? Which cup has less water than the others? How many stones together can make the water overflow? We will set up display experience inside the classrooms because we think This could be easier for the educators to observe children when they are playing inside, as it is the smaller scope than the outdoor place. Furthermore, when playing inside the classroom, children will play with a smaller group, so there would be an appropriate period for them to learn how to take turns with their peers. Another reason we consider to establish this play experience inside is because it could prevent the negative effects of weather. Especially in the winter weather, children will have more risk to get sick when they play with the water outside the cold weather. It does not mean they cannot play with water outside in the winter, but this activity requires a longer duration of play. Therefore, we think play inside the classroom would be better. We decided to use loose bark material in this activity are included the scoops, measuring cups, the stones, and the sensory materials as children can get benefit from playing with them. Children may be able to play it as they wish to. They do not have to follow any rules to play with this material. This would contribute to stimulating their creativity, critical thinking skills, and curiosity as well. For example, children can use the scoop to scoop the water filling in the cups, or even to dip into water as the way discovering the external world, which is still novel to them. In terms of how many materials, we will provide some empty cups for children creatively filling and pouring color water. We will choose the stone at the medium size, which are not too big or too small, as we find it will be easier for children to pick up and drop off the stone to the water. At the real water table, we will provide more the amount of water rather than in our demonstration video, as this would contribute to assist Alejandro and other children fully engage in the water play. We will also remain closely to children's positions, as we also want to ensure the safety of children while playing with water. Furthermore, when observing children with a close distance, it is likely easier for us to do documentations and pay more attention to recognize the appropriate period for having interventions successfully. To provide an opportunity for the children to represent their learning. Children can represent their learning by communicating and exchanging ideas with one another and with the educators in the context of this play experience. For example, Alejandro will tell his guests which cup will be full first toward other peers who are engaging in this play with him. In terms of providing an opportunity for staff to document the children's learning, while observing this play experience, the educators might document the children's learning by using the strategies of picture taking or recording to capture the moments, children discovering new concepts through play, and the educators might also take a quick note of what children saying to keep it for references looking back later to establish a next coming play experience based on their strengths and interests. For example, by recording a video, the educators might recognize that when Alejandro dropping the stone into water, he heard the sounds and counted the dropping turns of the stone based on them. And this is the reference page of our presentation. This is all for our presentation today. Thank you for your listening. Have a great day.